Hello viewers, I'm your host Halima Sadia in Tag TV News and Views Bulletin. Here are the highlights. Canada-European Union trade talks collapsed as Canada's International Trade Minister Chrystia Freeland walked out of discussion. Former Green Party candidate Shimit Jones threw pumpkin seeds at Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in Hamilton on Friday. More talks on Liberal government's 1 year in office. Donald Trump is losing his grounds after third heated presidential debate with Hillary Clinton. Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya's Canada's Peace Symposium. Color of Love International Concert in Mississauga. Dozens Diwali celebrations in Greater Toronto area. Canada-European Union trade talks collapsed as Canada's International Trade Minister Chrystia Freeland heads home.
Our frustrated International Trade Minister Chrystia Freeland suggested the entire deal was dead for now. She told European media in French that Canada has worked and I personally have worked very hard. But it is now evident to me, evident to Canada, that the European Union is incapable of reaching an agreement even with a country with European values such as Canada, even with a country as nice and as patient as Canada. Canada is disappointed and I personally am disappointed, but I think it is impossible. We are returning home. The trade deal, known as the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, CETA, is sweeping meant to provide broad access for Canadian goods and services to a European market of 500 million people. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau wasn't commenting Friday on the latest developments, but several weeks ago, he too expressed frustration at the opposition that could sink the trade pact. Trudeau said, if Europe was unable to sign what he called a progressive trade agreement with a country such as Canada, it will be a very clear message not just to Europeans, but to the whole world that Europe is about to choose a way perhaps not very productive either for its citizens or for the world.
Shimit Jones, who threw pumpkin seeds on PM Trudeau, a former Green Party candidate. She was released after almost 2 hours of discussion with security and Hamilton police Friday afternoon.
Shimit Jones was tackled by RCMP security after throwing sunflower and pumpkin seeds at the Prime Minister Friday during his visit to Toronto. Shimit Jones, a past Green Party of Canada candidate, was released with charge after almost 2 hours of discussion with security and Hamilton police Friday afternoon. The activist said she's now banned from City Hall properly, but does not regret her actions.
My reason for those particular items was to show him how important food security is for our region.
Canadian newspapers and media houses are talking a lot more about Liberal government's 1 year in office. Mississauga-based political analyst Brian Crombie reflects on Trudeau's government's 1 year in office at Tag TV show Candid Talk with Tahir Gora.
Well, I think the polls that have come out in the last couple of days is the answer, that 2/3 of Canadians or something like that today would vote for Justin Trudeau as Prime Minister. So he's got to have been doing a fantastic job. And the fact that clearly people get a honeymoon for a while, but he's had a honeymoon for a year. I think it's extraordinary. And I think that's the function of a couple of things. Number one, I think he's done a very good job. I think he's been very visible, and I think people have appreciated his visibility in the Canadian persona. And then I think that the fact that, number one, the Conservatives are going through a leadership convention and we don't know who the leaders are going to potentially be in the future. The NDP has said they're going to have a leadership convention but hasn't even started that process. So there's not really a very credible alternative as well. It's certainly damaging the opposition and making the Liberals look even better than they otherwise would. But bottom line, I think they've done a good job.
Donald Trump is losing his grounds after a third heated presidential debate with Hillary Clinton. A veteran Canadian expert on the US politics, John Spinks, shared his thoughts in Power Dilemma with Sarah Bukhari at Tag TV.
Talking about Donald Trump, whether he is really liked by the US population, whether he's representing the US population or not.
He does have an appeal. I think that though that appeal, it's limited. Most Republican candidates, when you go back over the last 50, 60, even 70 years, they normally have a base of support in the range of 45%. Because when you get a split of 5 or 6% in a presidential election, that's quite often a landslide. And when you do have elections that are very close, you have squeakers like you had with George W. Bush beating Al Gore, even though Al Gore got a higher percentage of the popular vote. But in this case, Trump has tapped into something. There's no question that there is an anger and a frustration among a certain significant segment of the US population. And they're looking for someone who is going to say what they want to hear, and Trump has filled that. So when people say, why would you support Hillary Clinton? For me, it's about one thing and one thing only. I do not want Donald Trump appointing the next few justices to the Supreme Court.
Canada's Muslim Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya arranging different events to engage diverse communities, especially when their worldwide head Mirza Masroor Ahmad is visiting Canada. Peace Symposium was their latest event.
We are following the original teachings of Islam as prescribed by the Holy Quran and the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Those noble teachings can be summed up in just 2 lines: to love your Creator and fulfill His rights, and to love His creation and to fulfill their rights.
The Colors of Love International Concert was a beautiful initiative taken by Maggie Hepta. This festival showcased diverse music such as Pakistani, Nigerian, Polish, Filipino, Ukrainian, and Native.
I would love everybody to celebrate love, and spread it. And the music is the universal language that binds us all together, regardless of our differences. So we should all come together and all celebrate.
So it's an honor and pleasure to be here to celebrate the colors of love. That is, the community really represents a microcosm of what is Mississauga and all our diversity, and what a vibrant and engaged city we are. And we love to celebrate each other's traditions. We're people from 150 different countries speaking 200 different languages, and you see that here tonight. You see people expressing themselves in other languages, and you see people here from every culture sharing and enjoying and celebrating each other's cultures.
This song is mine, no matter to try to make the whole world better.
Diwali is the beautiful Indian festival of lights, celebrated every year in autumn. It's now considered a Canadian festival as well. There are dozens of events to celebrate this beautiful festival.
Kardu Kamal! Get ready for spectacular performances by Manjeet Uppal, Baljeet Sandhu, Raju Sehdev,
Thank you for watching Tag TV News and Views Bulletin.
#1 multicultural channel. This is Tag TV.